God that my First Lady is able to be married to Neville's. He's given her strength to be married to Neville's. Never mind. But you missed it, right? Seriously. Giving honor to God first, to my pastor and First Lady, and to all of you here, the ministers, everybody. I just love you all and wish you all happy Mother's Day. I'm telling you, that side of the Nellis family of humor, I'm not going to go there because I had something funny, but I don't have that much time. No. Well, maybe, my mom's gone, your mom's gone, and most of us mothers are gone, but we want to wish you happy Mother's Day. To all of you who don't know where Mother is or if she is or whatever, know that when the scripture says that, or the song says, he's a mother for the motherless, father for the fatherless, sister and brotherless, and all, everything else. A doctor in a courtroom, all of it. That these times come along, and I don't know that they get any easier. Whenever this time does come along, it's reminded me of my mom and I. I've learned so much from her, and she was such a wise woman, quiet. Sometimes she wasn't, especially when we weren't acting right. But she was a quiet woman of much wisdom, and she was also humorous. But you all didn't ever see that side of her a whole lot. One time in Phoenix at my grandmother's house, it was after a meeting, and she was in the bedroom, and I was in the house too. And I looked to the side of me, and Mother was on the floor, kind of just like in trouble. By this time, I'm walking by, and I took a glance at her, and I thought, oh, well, she looks okay. And I said, because I had to make a deposit, and it wasn't the floodgates, but I had to make a deposit in another room. I looked at my mother and I said, I'll be right back. So I made the deposit. I had to go to the bathroom, okay? So it wasn't too good. I had to be blunt here, all right. So I knew that picking Mom up would not help the matter very much. My mom and I to this day, when we think about it, we both would laugh. So that's the kind of mother and father, of course, too. But my mother was always a very loving, kind person, had a great sense of humor. But I thank God, I thank Him for all of you being here. I thank God that my daughter, we had surgery a couple of days ago, and Ashley had gotten sick. Kelby was not well. So this morning when the phone rang, you answered, yes, praise the Lord. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I'm going, oh my God, the Lord bless all four of them. All four of them after surgery. So I thank God for being mother. I thank God for being, mother-in-law. And I thank God for being grandmother. And thank God for being great-grandmother. You all didn't know it. Let me skip back down to one grandma. No, I told her to call me Gigi Mom. Great-grandmother. Yes, Ashley's baby.
That's your great.
Well, great. Did I say great?
Just great, not great.
I'm great, but I'm getting older and forgetful. I think I will move on to my message. But whatever I am, I'm grateful. I'm grateful about that. But I do thank God for all He's done for me. They did come out all right, but I thank God. I thought, Lord, what should we say this day in a few minutes? And my mind went to all the things and all the years we've said many things that what happens to the wives of those great men? Abraham, you know about Sarah, Isaac, and Jacob. And down the line, the men had wives, by the way, a lot of them did, but we don't know much about them. How would they be feeling today? What are they today? How can we show the difference about these women? We began with Abraham. And you know he laughed when the Lord told him, you're going to be a father of many nations. And he laughed about it. Being 99, I believe it was when he had it, he thought that was funny. And so when it came down to marry to Sarah, whose name was Sarai until her name was changed, when she heard the news that she was supposed to become a mother also, She laughed. She thought that was funny. So anybody 99 in here, don't laugh. You know, you got some issues. But she laughed about it too. So, but I began to think about the wives and the feeling that Sarah had, and also Hagar, these two women. Sarah was his first and beloved wife, and of course, Hagar was the maid that she had with her. And because she had no children, she was feeling distraught. And you know how it can be when a bunch of women can be, before they get all good and saved, can be ridiculing somebody else before they get good and saved. You know, they were making fun and mocking. And so, because she felt, no, maybe the Lord will bless me and then I'll just send Hagar into my husband. And the husband agreed. It wasn't like hanky-panky. It wasn't like go over there and take care of business. It wasn't that. It was like, so we can have a child, that I can have your child. So she went over and she sent Hagar to Abraham, and they went in, and it was agreed upon. All right, then she had her child whose name was Ishmael. And after Ishmael began to grow up, things began to change. And this is the point I want about the two mothers. Hagar was told what to do, and Sarah thought they both put their hands in it trying to make things happen. But when God makes a promise to her, don't worry about fixing it. It's already done. But they had a little manipulation going on there. So she went in and they got together, and after a while she noticed that Hagar seemed to be mocking her and making fun. And so she said to Abraham, well, I don't like the way this is going on. Can we just send her out of the house? Just let her go. So to make it short, she sent her out, and they had, later on she came back. And then the tension between the two. So after a while, they had relationships, Abraham and Sarah. And that's when her name was turned over into Sarah, from Sarai. And we find that later on, when God had told him, you'll be the father of many nations, at that time he couldn't believe it. And when God makes a promise and tells us something, mothers and fathers, include you too, mothers, when he makes a promise or tell us something, it may be very difficult to believe because it's so far out. How could this be? How in the world could I, at this age, become a mother? Well, but God said, I know, just don't think so, you know, I feel like, I know God doesn't make mistakes, but I'm getting a little wondering about it. So when God tells you something, it may look like it's just not going to happen. I have doubt, and you have to ask the Lord to forgive you and help you to wait that time out. But this is something huge. When God said it, you've got to believe it. He's got to make it happen. He cannot, his word will not go out void. So finally it comes around, and even when they both had laughed about it, and they had both laughed about it, but it came to fruition that he had Isaac. And he had Ishmael, the other child. They were both brother and half brother and sister, our brothers. And so we found out about that. And I'm trying to say this, that when God makes a promise to you and tells you something, count on it. Don't get all worried about it. The next thing. All right, we're going to go on to the next person. Bear with me. I got my glasses. I thought about the other one where there's a woman, and you know the story, and I want you all to go home if you haven't really read about these. This is about Hannah. Hannah's on the spot today. You remember 1 Samuel, when you go home, 1 Samuel 1, 11 through 17 and 20. And Isaac will put the names part up that I want you to concentrate on. Hannah was the wife of the priest Eli. She was barren, the people around her, the other women, remember this is Women's Day, Ladies and Mother's Day. She wanted to have children, the women around her were happy about it. They were just rejoiced about having their children. And we can be so cruel, it seems to me, it used to be anyway. They had their children, but Hannah didn't, and she wanted a child. She prayed. She was in there praying all the time, but they mocked and made fun. I can imagine. You can't have children. We got about 5 or 6. You can't have children. Just making fun. And Hannah kept on, and she prayed. She kept praying. I want a child, Lord. I'm barren. And this is supposed to be like a curse. I want a child. Think about this. for your heart to be so much into something that you desire something good, and you're asking God, and you're faithful in what you do. And you're asking God, I just want a child. Am I asking too much? You're the great God. You can do all things. I know you can. Can I have a baby? A child. They kept making fun of her. She kept praying. Her husband prayed, and he saw her sadness. He see her sitting there praying and wondering about it. And it hurt him. Fathers, when you look at your wife and you know something's not quite right. I remember, so Hannah sat there and she prayed, and her husband was unhappy because she was. This is the part I want you to do, and I want you to get in your mind. I don't want you to move your lips, and I just want you to move your lips. Don't make a sound about what you want from God today. Just move your lips. Do not say it. What did it say? God, give it to me. I'll read it. And it came to pass as she continued praying before the Lord that Eli marked her mouth. Eli watched her lips. He marked her mouth because she was sitting there, but she was praying, but you couldn't hear. It was silent. Now Hannah, she spake in her heart. Only her lips moved. Just her lips moved. She was praying to him. It was a personal thing. Just her lips moved. But her voice was not heard. Therefore Eli thought that she had been drunk, and he thought she'd been drinking, because she's sitting there, her lips moving and no sound come out. That's how heavy it was. Eli answered and said, Go ye in peace, and the God of Israel grant thee thy adventure. She began to pray, and you all know what happened. When she gave birth, the Lord blessed her and came through for her like He will do for you when you pray. Just because you may not say a lot of words all the time, and you're moving and praying in your heart, don't you think God's not listening and know what you're saying and praying for? And He says, I'll give you the desires of your heart. Just make your heart's desire what He wants. He gave it to her. He gave it. And then she said, and you know what, Lord? I'm here. Let me read it. It's verse 27 and 1 says, For this child I prayed, and the Lord hath given me my petition, which I asked of Him. Therefore also I have led him to the Lord, as long as he liveth. He shall be led to the Lord, and he worshipeth the Lord therefore. Hannah prayed, and she was brought forth Hannah. She prayed, and her daughter was born, and she had other births. Don't think, you can move your lips if you want to kind of move a little bit there, but just don't think that God has not listening, or maybe I just got to see. She turned, she looked back, and she turned into a pillar of salt. Salt, she just stood there because she looked back. Don't look back at when things have happened in your life to bring you back or down. Things, when you look back and think too far back, and I remember this and I remember that, and a marriage is bad, I remember this and I remember that, and oh, I used to be down there at whatever clubs they have now. I used to do this and I used to do that. After a while, if we're not careful, your mind will begin to go back. Mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, everybody. Your mind will begin to go back, and you think of the pleasures, and some of them were pleasures that you had. Don't look back. Lot's wife looked back and turned to salt even after she was warned. One more and then I'm done. You think about the mothers, and we talked about Mary. She was blessed to have and to bear Jesus. She was a pregnant virgin. And I love it. I just love that. A pregnant virgin. Has anyone ever heard of that? But they don't exist. Not anymore. She was the only one. Don't go looking for one. Don't be making an excuse. I'm looking for a pregnant. No, it's done. It's a done deal. She's a pregnant virgin. God overshadowed her. Too much time to go into all of it. He overshadowed Mary. Now, mind you, Mary was born of blood and water, just blood like we are. We need to understand that she was a natural woman. She's blessed because God blessed her to be his female mother, fleshly mother, put it that way. All right, so he overshadowed himself. He put himself into Mary, who was clean. She had not had a man before. She was a virgin. She was clean, and she was blessed. He overshadowed Mary and put himself into her. Might be a little deep, but it was. And to shadow and put him into Mary. Why? Because he needed some blood. He needed some blood. No blood anywhere that was good enough to save us. Nobody. It did not exist. So what I've got to do is go down myself. I'm going to put flesh on, and I'm going down so I can save faith. Yuma found the faith, and the ones before him and all of them. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to put flesh on. Where was he going to put the flesh? He put it in a clean vessel, Mary. But not for other reasons you might think. He put himself into Mary. And when Mary brought forth Jesus, it was not her blood. Please don't think Mary's blood was mixed up and contaminated. No, it was God's blood. It was not Mary's blood. Her blood was messed up.
You're right.
Nobody's blood could do it but Jesus, right? So he came down through Mary. His blood, it was not Mary's blood at all. She was just used as a vessel. And that's a blessing like you're being used today. All right? So we get down to the other side of the mother that I want us to see. When Mary carried Jesus, he grew up. She was a good mother. She trained him. I believe that he grew. He grew. He did many things, and he might have done all those things. I don't know. But I'm just glad he came. So he's grown up as a child. And when time for him to be lost, but he got lost around talking to other people, she worried because she was a mother. She was concerned. The father, too. Where is he? He says, I'm about my father's business. So Mary begins to worry, and they found her. But let's fast forward and go to the time when he was going to Calvary. I want every mother in here and the ones who's gone, whatever, to think about something. We start at the bottom of Mount Golgotha. We start there. When Mary has heard him, she heard what they were doing to him all this time. They gave him a hard time. When somebody says something about your baby, the child, whether it's right or not, you got to kind of like, Holy Ghost, help me. You don't want to mess with my child. I know that's right, a lot of times. But she listened and she do it and she went on. But let's get to the base of that cross, Lord. When she had to look at her son, saying, I want you to stretch your arms, baby. Leave him out there for a while. Think about Mary at the foot, looking at them beating her child. If somebody come up here and even look too hard. I know that's right. I'm telling you. So, but she didn't. She stayed there. The guards had pulled her back. Jesus is on the cross. He's carrying it up, by the way. And then finally they nailed his hands and they nailed his feet. And Mama Mary is watching all of it. What could she be feeling? Her baby, her son. And he's bleeding. Not only that, they put the crown of thorns on his head. Not only that, they poke him in the side, and she's watching what he's doing. What they're doing to my son. He's in pain. All of these things are happening to your child. What would we do? Lord, help us. What would we do? But she managed. She stayed and they ridiculed. So she went afterwards and got the things that were left. He hung his head and he died. Nothing we go through and all the stuff we go through, don't let things get so heavy on you that you can't find God, stay focused on Him. Mary had to be obedient. That was her son. She had to receive His blood. He didn't need her blood. She needed His blood, just like we need His blood. That's why He shed it for us. That's why. He came and He did it, the blood of the water. So I thank God for mothers. I mean, to be able to go to that. We hear talk about Mary, and that's wonderful. Don't get me wrong. But listen, what God did to look down to and see His mother. And know His mother's going to be saved through this too. That's another one. I want you to remember those things. That mothers are something, and you have memories. I have so many good memories. I have sad memories with my mom and I. We were very close, and I had said, and she said it before, that if you take this last daughter, she said, if you take her from me, if you take her, I can't take it. Because we lost, all my sisters are gone. You take this last one, I couldn't take it. And God told her, I can take her and you can take it. So she's told us, she says, I said from that time, yes Lord. And I told God about my daughter. I love her so much more. And He says, I love her more. It makes your mouth shut. Thank you, God. But I thank God for mothers today. I didn't mean to take so long, but motherhood is so important. The memories, keep them in your heart. Even the things you don't understand. All of those things. Keep them in your heart. Memories, write them down. And teach our children what we've learned also as being mothers and fathers. All right.